Morning students, today we will discuss the topic main features of economic reform. Okay, so in earlier video we discussed about the meaning of economic reform, then we talk about the main elements that are liberalization, privatization, globalization. Then we discuss about the liberalization in detail, that what is liberalization, what was the reform, industrial, financial reform. Okay, then we talk about the advantage and disadvantage of liberalization. Today we will talk about the privatization. Okay, so what is privatization? As you can see in the pictures, that means mainly the sector which were under the public, they were given to private sector, we can say individual. So privatization is defined as the transfer of function, activity or organization from the public sector to private sector. Okay, privatization is defined as the transfer, means किसी चीज को एक से दूसरे को दे देना, that is transfer. किसी भी फंक्शन, कोई एक्टिविटी, चाहे प्रोडक्शन एक्टिविटी थी या किसी और चीज़ से रिलेटेड थी, मीन्स जो एक्टिविटी, जो इकोनॉमिक एक्टिविटी मेनली थी, उनको क्या किया कि गवर्नमेंट थी उसको उसके हाथ में से प्राइवेट के हाथ में दे दी. ठीक है, तो देयर वाज ट्रांसफर फ्रॉम वन टू अनदर, फ्रॉम पब्लिक टू प्राइवेट. ओके, so there were two ways mainly for privatization. First is sale of public sector unit to private sector. First was the sale, means जो public industries थी उनको sale कर दिया गया, किसको? private sector को. Then first is sale of public sector unit to private sector. Then second is withdrawal of public sector units joint. What it mean? It means that पब्लिक सेक्टर मीन्स गवर्नमेंट विड्रॉ, उन्होंने अपनी निकाल ली. विड्रॉ मीन्स निकाल लिया अपना जो उनका पार्ट था, मतलब जो पीपी पब्लिक प्राइवेट पार्टनरशिप से जो इंडस्ट्री चल रही थी, ठीक है, उसमें गवर्नमेंट ने क्या किया कि अपना हिस्सा निकाल लिया. ठीक है, तो वो क्या रह गए? फुली प्राइवेट रह गए. जैसे अपने फॉर एग्जांपल आप ले सकते हो ग्रामोत्थान विद्यापीठ है, किसी टाइम इसमें गवर्नमेंट और पब्लिक प्राइवेट दोनों से चलती थी, लेकिन जैसे ही गवर्नमेंट ने अपना शेयर निकाल लिया तो अभी क्या है? फुली प्राइवेट है. ठीक है, तो उस तरह से क्या था प्राइवेटाइजेशन? एक तो फुली जो गवर्नमेंट है उसको सेल कर देना प्राइवेट को, एंड सेकेंड इज दैट objective of privatization. Okay, means what were the objective of privatization? Why there was need of privatization? Why expert think that privatization in the economy should be increased? So the first reason is to increase efficiency and competitive power of the enterprises. Okay, means as we know that private sector work for to earn maximum profit. The main aim of private sector is to earn maximum profit, so they work more efficiently, and there is competition between the private industries. Okay, we can also take the example of private school, like in our area there are many private school and they have competition with each other. Okay, means they try to give more facility compared to other school. So as privatization increased the competition, so this was the first reason, as we discussed earlier, that in government sector there was corruption and there was inefficiency in the working capacity. Then to strengthen industrial management, as management was also poor in public sector unit, so it was think that private sector will manage more properly than public sector. So some industries were given to private sector. The industry which was called sick means they were not working. The government was doing expenditure on the industry, but there was zero revenue from industries. Then to earn more and more foreign currency, as there will be more production, then there will be more exports of goods. More exports of goods means more inflow of foreign currency. Okay, so as we know in 1990s there was deficiency, or we can say there was less reserve of foreign currency to the country. So it was also a main aim or main objective to earn foreign currency. Then to make optimum use of resources, means resources were utilized but not optimum, means fuller utilization of resources. So it was suggested by the expert that private sector will fully utilize the resources. Then to achieve rapid industrial development of the country, to achieve rapid industrial development means कि जो इंडस्ट्री की ग्रोथ है वो तेजी से बढ़े, इंडस्ट्रियलाइजेशन, टू इंक्रीज द इंडस्ट्रियलाइजेशन. मोर इंडस्ट्रियलाइजेशन मीन्स मोर ग्रोथ ऑफ द इकोनॉमी. ओके, so all these were the main objective of privatization, or we can say that because of all these reasons there was the need of privatization in the economy. Okay, now next measure adopted for privatization means what was done for the privatization. Then contraction of public sector, contraction means कम कर देना, ठीक है. तो जो पब्लिक सेक्टर यूनिट्स थी उनको कम कर दिया गया था. देयर वाज कॉन्ट्रैक्शन मीन जो पब्लिक सेक्टर यूनिट थी, जो गवर्नमेंट इंडस्ट्रीज थी मेनली, उनको प्राइवेट सेक्टर को सेल कर दिया गया था या गवर्नमेंट ने अपना उनमें से हिस्सा पार्ट निकाल लिया था. Then disinvestment, this is also the sale of government property to the private, this is called disinvestment. Then sale of shares of public enterprises, सेल ऑफ शेयर्स, जो गवर्नमेंट के जो शेयर्स थे गवर्नमेंट ने वो भी सेल कर दिए, एंड फ्रॉम दैट गवर्नमेंट गेट रेवेन्यू एंड दैट प्रॉपर्टी बिकम प्राइवेट. नाउ इंक्रीज इन प्राइवेट सेक्टर एज द पब्लिक सेक्टर फर्म्स इंडस्ट्री वर गिवन टू प्राइवेट सेक्टर, देयर वाज चेंज ऑफ ओनरशिप फ्रॉम गवर्नमेंट टू पब्लिक, गवर्नमेंट टू प्राइवेट सेक्टर. सो देयर वाज इंक्रीज इन प्राइवेट सेक्टर as transportation facility was given to private sector, production industries were given to private sector. Okay, then sick industry, sick means industry those were not working properly and they were giving zero profit to the government sector, they were given to the private sector, means these industry were sold to the private sector only. Then memorandum of understanding, there was MOU, memorandum means agreement होना किसी चीज का, तो agreement पे किया गया था कि मतलब जो गवर्नमेंट है वो इतने % पे उनको सेल कर देगी, या जो भी कुछ सुपरविजन गवर्नमेंट का रहेगा वो क्या रहेगा, इस चीज़ पे भी एग्रीमेंट था. देन एडवांटेज ऑफ प्राइवेटाइजेशन की क्या एडवांटेज थे, क्या बेनिफिट था. फर्स्ट है रिडक्शन इन इकोनॉमिक बर्डन एज द इंडस्ट्री दैट वर नॉट वर्किंग प्रॉपरली एंड गवर्नमेंट एक्सपेंडिचर वाज रिड्यूस ऑन that industry because sick industry were given to private sector, so there was a reduction in economic burden. Then increase in efficiency as privatization increased the competition and they worked to earn maximum profit. So there was increase in efficiency, working efficiency. Then reduction in sense of irresponsibility, as in public sector there was corruption and the people working inefficiency, that was also reduced. Then scientific management, as new methods were adopted to manage things. Then reduction in political interference, as maximum there was increase in private sector, so government sector interfere was less in the activities, economic activities. Then encouragement of new invention, means obviously private sector work for self motive profit, so there is more encouragement of new invention, means new methods of production, new method of production activities were invented. Then disinvestment, disadvantage of privatization means क्या harmful effect थे privatization के economy पे. Okay, then first is industrial sickness. Industrial sickness में जो industries थी उनका मतलब सिकनेस, वो जो सिक इंडस्ट्री थी वो कुछ इंडस्ट्री बिल्कुल ही क्लोज होगी, बंद होगी. देन लैक ऑफ वेलफेयर, वेलफेयर में सोसाइटी का जो वेलफेयर, जैसे गवर्नमेंट काम करती है तो वो जिन चीज़ों को प्रोड्यूस करती है वो इस तरह से किया जाता है कि उनके प्राइसेस मिनिमम रहे ताकि जो मिडल पुअर क्लास फैमिलीज है वो भी अफोर्ड कर सके कंट्री में. बट प्राइवेट सेक्टर वर्क फॉर profit, so they produce maximum those goods which are higher in price, so there was loss in welfare, society welfare, class struggle, as because of privatization the people who have earlier higher income they were earning higher income, but the people who were poor becoming more poor, so there was struggle between the poor and the rich. Then increase in equality because of wealth distribution, there was increase in inequality because wealth distribution was also unequal. Opposition by the employees, as because of privatization many people lost their employment, so it was a very harmful effect for the people of the country. Problem of financing, then increase in unemployment, as in because the people who were working in public sector and they were sell to the private sector, so the people earlier working in public sector, they lost their job. Then ignore the weaker section, obviously poor section of the society was ignored because private sector work for self motive, or they produce maximum those goods which give maximum revenue to them. Then ignore the national importance, obviously they do not work for the country, they work for their name and fame. Okay, so these were the disadvantages of privatization. We can say that take an example of school, like people who are poor, they cannot afford to teach to send their children to the private school because their income is low, but higher income people can send. So obviously weaker section of the society are ignored in if there is more privatization in the country. Then public sector reform means the industry which were under public, there was also reform in public industries. So there was the some industry, they were divided according to category, means according to the revenue, that which giving higher income they were giving Navratan, then after that giving Maharatan name, then Mini Ratan. So the company which were giving highest return or revenue, they were giving the name of Navratan. Example MTNL, BPCL, okay, Maharatan, CIL, ONGC. Now ONGC, all these are in Navratan. Okay, I think so. Now 7 industries are in Navratan companies. Then Mini Ratan, small industries are in Mini Ratan. Then World Trade Organization was established in 1995, and the main aim of World Trade Organization is to make an agreement between the countries on trade, and 153 countries are member of World Trade till 15 December 2005. Now there is 182 countries. Okay, so students, watch the video and also read from your book. If you have any doubt, any query, you are free to ask. Thank you.